Welcome back. As we also promised that we are going to tackle together or to cover the urgent Arab Islamic Summit due to take place in Doha as Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati already headed to Doha yesterday to participate in the ministerial preparatory meeting ahead of the urgent summit, which is going to be attended by a number of Islamic and Arab leaders. To shed more light on the event, we are very much delighted to have with us live here in the studio my dear guest, Professor Mohamed Darwish, our international cooperation consultant. Thank you very much for being with us, sir, and a very good morning.
Good morning.
Before going into details, how critical, important, and urgent is this summit?
At this specific time, exactly what's happening in Qatar. That's why it should be this attendance related to the Islamic countries to be attending what's happening. And this is show how Egypt was respecting or understanding what's good happening in the futures. So that's why we are, what's happening cannot be passing like that in Qatar. And Minister Abdulati, Dr. Abdulati is mentioned what's happening to Qatar is related to also what's happening in Egypt. And in any Arab country will support. There isn't this happen again.
Of course, Egypt expresses full solidarity with the Gulf states and with Qatar in specific during this very critical timing. But sir, already Hamas was, as they say, studying the U.S. proposal while being targeted in Doha. How do you see this reflecting the real intentions, whether of Israel or its biggest ally, the United States?
I've been thinking in that things. I just speak and word, nothing more than that. And if not related to that, why it's happening in Qatar? Them study after studying and looking for what's the to make this agreement or this deal, and to be attacked Qatar related to that. That show that there is not respecting to finalize this case.
Sir,
with
also,
Hamas.
Yeah, Israel is facing now isolation. And when it comes to the intention of a number of Western states to recognize a Palestinian state, I think this is adding to this isolation, in addition to the pressures he is facing from his own society, with the families of the hostages demonstrating all the time, asking for the release of their beloved ones. Do you think that this summit is going to add more pressure on Netanyahu, or is going to continue with his arrogance?
No, it's give more pressure on Netanyahu, especially he's facing from internal and external. And I was just searching and survey for the case, what is the updating of the case. Netanyahu is facing so much internally. I mean, internally, that's all the peoples doesn't respect his dedicated. Much of that from Israel themselves, and the casing that Israel peoples is facing around all the world, that's not being respecting, or as before, they cannot able to, maybe any Israel people to go allowed any countries, is not being respecting, because they become now as an image, you are a killer peoples, what's is happening. And this is show how much that this tendency will pushing over the case, that there is, the time is now for the army union related to that, in case of what's happening again, it will not attack to Qatar.
You mean to have Arab joint forces?
Yes, of course.
But sir, if you permit me, I'd like to focus more on the opinions of, for example, the Israeli opposition groups, which said today that now freeing hostages, there is only one obstacle in front of it, which is Netanyahu. How we can use this to put more pressure on Netanyahu? And if you permit me to say, is this something which should be discussed in the agenda of talks of the summit?
Of course, it should be. It should be, and it's time to finalize this case. And it will be more pressure, especially if the state and the big country show that this attendance with all Arab country is agree on one side as a one man. It will be finalized the case. I believe it could be finalized the case immediately, because the state themselves have several business with us, and even in Europe. and Israel is always follow them rules and cooperation with them, and related also to financial and related to economy. It could be pushing to that to
We
stop.
cannot by any means separate politics from economy, but
Of
sir,
course.
even the rhetoric, even the words used by the top diplomats, by the top executives is different after this attack. And if you permit me, I'm going to quote Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman Al Thani, who warned the attack sends, and this is exactly his words, a clear message to the entire region. There is a rogue actor engaging in constant political thuggery and violating the sovereignty of states. So if you would like to elaborate more on that, sir.
This word is a tough word. Show that Qatar government never and ever respecting what's happening, and Qatar was trying to playing or try to do a part to finalize the case. So why them involve them in the case, and show that government of Qatar never respect this acting against also deaths of Qatari people was there, and why to attack Qatar country, no of matter, no reason to attack them, especially with the case try to finalize it or try to solve it or to take a deal with Hamas.
Yeah, sir, I think that this is the Israeli policy since
Several years, yeah.
since 1948, since its establishment.
Yeah.
Attacking the Palestinians in Qana, and before thinking about Qana, they moved to Lebanon. Before condemning their attack on Lebanon, they moved to Syria. I mean, to attract the attention from the starvation policy they are really implementing in Gaza, in addition to, of course, their strikes on many even shelters there. They move to Qatar as if this is their way to distract the international community far from their crimes against humanity committed against the Palestinian civilians. Do you agree with me on that?
Yes, of course, I agree. And it's a matter what's Egypt, our President Fattah al-Sisi and Minister try to pushing to, it's time to solve and to take action related to Israel. Israel attacked all the international law approved. Lebanon, as you mentioned in your asking, never respect any rules approved. It's time to take action. It's time to Israel to stop, not allowed to access any country without a reason, especially them reason that them government afraid to maybe attack to Israel. That's why them losing. We enough to hearing that from them, and it's time to take action from United Nations and from Europe and from abroad also from I believe in that attendance with Islamic country and Arab country will take action related.
This was my coming question regarding the meeting or the summit which is going to take place today and tomorrow, inshallah, in Doha, in the Qatari capital, just a few days before the UN General Assembly, which is going to convene on the 22nd of September. Do you think also that preparing a statement, a joint statement by the Arab and Islamic nations to be presented into the UNGA is going also to be discussed, and if yes, how, with the American authorities denying the Palestinian top officials visas to attend even the UN General Assembly?
Yes, this was gonna be happening, and I mean, I believe in the agenda of the United Nations. We'll try to respecting that. If them found approved or a one man agree between Arab country and Islamic country, I believe it could be must to take an action from the UN, because it believe that them had putting in several steps, and Israel avoid everything, never respecting everything. It's time to the conclusion, gaining from them done, have action to believe that there is respecting of international law. Israel get this down, and I believe international law must respecting to not allow to any country to do what Israel do. If it passing like that, it will be any country to able to cross and approach any action on any army force running things abroad of the country, and this is not respecting.
Well, Professor Mohamed Moukhtar Darwish, thank you very much for your input, and
I
have a
really
very good
appreciate
day.
it. I really appreciate it to join your programs.
Well, by this we come to the end of our episode, but stay tuned only on Nile TV International, as we are going to follow minute by minute all the events taking place in Doha. The Arab Islamic Joint Urgent Summit is going to be convened with the participation of world leaders from the Arab and Islamic nations. Till we meet again same time on Nile TV International. Many thanks for watching. This was Nurmeen Abdurrahman.